is totally different than, let's say, now our top agents.
Thank you. This is exactly where I was hoping you'd go with it.
And on the top agent level, I do one-on-ones with them. So, and that's a whole different level because they have the skill. A lot of times they just need somebody to listen to them, and it's mindset for them. So at that point, they're so busy. They have so much going on. I'm not teaching them. They know how to do a listing presentation. They know how to have it conducted by our consultation. It's more about how are they getting the leverage they need? Where's their mindset? Are they staying on track with their goals? At that point, there's a whole lot of pressure on the top agent.
Welcome to the Whissel Way Podcast. I am your host, Bryan Koci, Director of Media here at Whissel Realty Group. And I am here with the fabulous, the wonderful, the one and only Thomas Conyers. And Brandy's here too.
I'm out.
I am here with our Director of Sales, Brandy Berry. We are so happy to have you.
Thanks.
Welcome
Thanks
to the
for
show.
having me.
Again,
I know I was going to say.
well, I guess it's going to be
all
played
those
first.
people that said it was so good last time, right? That's right.
Brandy, I know what you do, I hope, but tell those that are listening, obviously you are the Director of Sales. What does that entail?
So basically, I'm responsible for growth. So growth of our sales here at Whissel, whether it be outside sales, inside sales, everything growth related, and growth of the team itself. So making sure that we're growing at a healthy rate and bringing in the type of agents that we want to be in business with.
So I actually want to add one more to that. So, and I love the word growth. One, it's one of our core values, grow or die, but growing our sales, right? So we have more sales, make more money, be more profitable, good. Growing our team, more agents, more inside sales, more admin support, right? You're primarily focused on growing the number of agents. But what I want to talk about today is the growth of each agent, right? You help the agent, the individual agent, grow within themselves, because we know there's several ways to get to $1 billion, right? You can get 1 billion agents and each have them do $1 worth, or you can make the agents we have much more productive, right? And so that's one of the things that I think you really excel at, is really coaching up our agents to be better agents. And we all know we'd rather have 10 agents doing the same amount of deals, 10 agents doing $1 billion worth of deals rather than 100 agents, right? It's easier. So talk a little bit about what you do to kind of coach up an agent. How do you help them grow?
So a couple of ways, actually. We do, of course, we have our training, right? So that is definitely a huge part of it. But then outside of that,
you mean the training, the onboarding training?
The onboarding training.
Yep. Talk a little bit about that. It's our 3-week training program.
So we do it when agents are onboarded. They enter into a 3-week onboarding training program. It's 4 days a week, from 9 a.m. to 3:30 every day, and we teach them everything from, of course, our systems and tools, and then we go into listings and buyers, and we do a lot of mindset and mirror and matching and disc profiling, and so just to give them really the foundation for success.
Excellent.
So then they graduate from that program, and then they're like deer in headlights. Oh my gosh, what do I do now? So we have them in one-on-one training after that for their next month to make sure that they lose the deer in headlights look and build confidence, and really navigate them through what they do with their first deal, right? If they get a listing or a sell, and how that works. And then help to build their confidence. So that's on a weekly basis for their first month after. And then they go into a group coaching program from there. And then I also do high-level coaching one-on-ones with our top agents.
Excellent. Now, talk a little bit about the idea between individual coaching versus group coaching, and the pros and cons a little bit of each.
So I think, at least for us and how we do it here, you really have to figure out where the agent is at any given time. So as a new agent, they don't know what they don't know. And so you're really having to hold their hand one-on-one at that point to get them through that first month of right? Being out there. So that's really more not even a skill coaching at that point. It's more of a grounded, you're going to be okay. Here's how you write your ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, right?
And your psychology of it all. Yeah.
Right. Then, so I wouldn't even say there's a whole lot of skill coaching that goes in at that point. A little bit, but that's not the focus. Group coaching is great because you are with your peers, and if you have that question, more than likely somebody else has that question. And so it enables us to answer it all at once instead of having to answer it 13 different times, right? Which we still end up answering 13 different times. But at least we're trying. But also it helps for everybody to learn and grow together. So that's really where skills training starts to really take effect, and accountability. So group coaching is really good for accountability and making sure people are staying on track, and then skill coaching together. You can break them out into different groups. They can role play, they can do a presentation, they can practice on each other as far as a listing presentation or buyer consultation. And then, we actually go through numbers and where everybody is and what the activities that they're doing. Because what they're doing is totally different than, let's say, now our top agents.
Thank you. This is exactly where I was hoping you'd go with it.
And on the top agent level, I do one-on-ones with them. So, and that's a whole different level because they have the skill. A lot of times they just need somebody to listen to them, and it's mindset for them. So at that point, they're so busy. They have so much going on. I'm not teaching them. They know how to do a listing presentation. They know how to conduct a buyer consultation. It's more about, how are they getting the leverage they need? Where's their mindset? Are they staying on track with their goals? At that point, there's a whole lot of pressure on the top agent. So I do one-on-one coaching with them, and then we do top agent mastermind. So I would say it's group coaching on steroids, to where it's all of our top tiered agents, and we get together with Kyle, and it's really like a 3-hour deep dive into a whole different level of coaching at that point all together. Sometimes together, sometimes we bring in outside agents as well.
Some of the things that I really want to point out that I heard you say is, one, talking about doing group coaching. I think some of the things that we do here, we do our weekly meetings, we do our huddles in the morning,
right,
where everyone in the company, or at least every salesperson, is involved in, right? And so it's a good way to kind of introduce new ideas, or have some of the agents coach and kind of help train, but everyone is there. It's kind of a one-size-fits-all, which is good for certain things.
Right.
But then what I heard you say, which I think is the most important, is breaking it out into different groups.
Yeah.
And so it's important to have a one-size-fits-all for portions.
Right.
So the new people can see.
That's your team meetings.
Yeah, it's your team meetings. The new people can go, oh, I don't know. I remember when I joined Whissel, we did I think the first couple of weeks, they did a series on farming. And I had to ask Kyle the second week, what the fuck are we talking about for farming? Like, I thought this was real estate. Why is it corn? Is like what? I didn't understand farming. But I think that kind of helps the new people understand what they don't know. It helps them, oh, well, this is the terminology, and kind of that trial by fire, but they'll get into it, right?
Right.
And then with your experienced agents, yeah, there's a half an hour of talking, but that's where they can really pick out I can do this and implement this, do these little tweaks. But then what's great is taking that big one-size-fits-all and breaking it down. And we all know the best way to do it, the best way to get the agent from zero to their next step is to do personalized one-on-one coaching for as many hours as they need. We also know that's not scalable beyond like 2 people. Right? If you have 2 people, and there's some agents that I'm thinking of in my brain right now.
Don't say it out loud.
I won't say it out loud. They will take up 150% of your day every single day, and that's not scalable. So breaking them out into different quartiles or experience levels, or however you do that, putting agents with agents that they're with, right? People that have done, less than 3 deals, or people that have been in the industry for less than a year. Like, I don't care how you break it up, but make sure that no one in the room is way smarter or way dumber than the rest of the group. We want to have it kind of fairly compact in what that group looks like.
Right. Yeah, yeah, and I think you definitely have to do that. And then also on the same token, you have to really keep an eye on what your salespeople are doing, what your agents are doing, because if you see an agent start to falter a little bit and go down, you have to be on top of that. And then that's probably, for me, I would pull them aside and have a one-on-one, like even if they're not one of our top tiered agents, I would at that point then have a one-on-one with them, like, hey, what's happening here? Something's going on. Are you okay? Is there something that we can do? Your numbers, like that's my job, right? Is to make sure that everybody's supported and can get to the level that they want to be in. So it's not just cookie cutter putting them in a box. That is definitely, I would say the layout for it, but then just keeping an eye on the agents as well and their production to make sure that if they're dipping, you're in on that. That's not a group coaching conversation. That's a one-on-one conversation.
Hey, Jimmy, you're fucking up. What's going on?
That's right.
I'm sad.
That's right.
I'm glad we can talk about this in front of the group.
That's right.
So obviously you say you're looking at them, seeing when they're starting to flip or fall. Mm-hmm. You talked about numbers. We know that looking at production is a pretty far lagging indicator, right? Yeah. Of if you're just looking at how many homes they sold. Oh, I'm used to Jimmy selling 6 houses a month, or let's say 6 houses a quarter. And then he went to 4 houses, and then he went to 2 houses. At that point, he's already fallen off a cliff. What are some of the other numbers that you look at that will give you kind of a heads up to...
Attendance.
Okay, attendance?
Yeah,
Tell me more.
So if they're attending your, like for us, right, we have a morning huddle. Are they attending that? We do role play. Are they attending that? Are they attending the team meeting? Are they attending all the things, trainings, whatever it is? Are they coming into the office? Do you see them? Do you hear from them? Are they returning your phone calls? And if you're on top of your business, which you should be, you'll see, is their name coming across? Are they having appointments? Are they setting appointments? So really making sure that you're looking at the numbers and you understand. So those are the as soon as people start to not attend, not be present, something's happening one way or the other. Either they're looking to cheat on you and go somewhere else,
yep.
Or there's something happening personally that you need to figure out what that is.
Yeah, so I think that's a great way to do it, especially eyes and ears and see. Just being aware. Some numbers that you mentioned and some that I want to kind of add into it. Setting appointments. I think that's a great a great leading indicator.
Right.
If they're not setting appointments, they're not doing their work.
We all
right?
have report cards.
Yeah. And you want to be careful not measuring things too tightly, right?
Right.
How many phone calls and how many minutes per phone? Like you don't want to get. But again, if they're not setting appointments, they're not going to close deals.
Right.
So that's a great one. The other thing that we're doing that I think is really important is making sure that our agents are caught up with their segments. So we use Follow Up Boss. We have Smart List or segments that we've deemed most important to make sure we keep our pipeline full, right?
Right.
And so are they calling the people that they're supposed to be calling on a daily basis? And if they're not, oh, well, they were sick for a couple of days or they went out of town. Okay. But if you see these people that they should have been called, once a week, and you're seeing 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, that's a really good indicator that they're lagging for some reason.
Right.
Maybe it's personal reasons. Maybe they're unmotivated. Maybe they made the money that they needed to this year, and they're just done. And
if that's the case, you need to reassign the leads.
Right? Like let's figure it out. So that's good. So we talked about coaching a little bit. We talked about what numbers to look at. We talked about scaling your coaching. How do you have conversations with agents to kind of either coach them up or coach them out? Where do you have that conversation?
All the time. So you have to be able to have the tough conversations, but you also have to be able to lend an ear and a hug if needed. So the agents will tell you what they want to know. I have agents that literally tell me when you and I meet, one of our top agents, these are the questions I want you to ask me. This is what I want you to hold me accountable to.
This is a high D personality. And if I don't do it, punch me in the face.
Yeah. And so you just know, having a pulse on your team is critical and crucial, and their success and ultimately yours. So if their numbers are dropping, and ultimately they want to do deals, they want to make money. That's the whole point. That's the whole reason why they're in real estate and why they're on our team. So it's our job, my job specifically, to hold them accountable to that, to their goals, not our goal for them, right? It's your goal. You're the one that wanted to hit 50 this year. you're sucking right now. You're going to have to work harder, in October. So, going back to clearing your segments, a lot of that is work smarter, not harder. You've got the pipeline there already. They're in your segments. So would you rather call through and do the follow-up on your pipeline that you have there that you've already been in touch with, or go out and door knock, right? Call through your segments. That's an easier way to do it. So did I answer your question?
I think so. I took a note.
Started talking.
And what I heard you say is you want to make sure your expectations are aligned.
Yeah.
That you're coaching them on what they want. You're holding them accountable to what they want to do.
To what they want to do.
And if it comes to a point where you say, hey, I only want, in my team, I only want the best performers in the team. I want people that do this, this, this. And someone who's been with you for 10 years said, hey, I just had kids and I want to work part-time. And you need to make sure that your expectations are aligned and say, this is the expectation for the team. Mm-hmm. You want to do this. I love you. I think you're a great person. I want to do deals with you. But if you're not here, then we can't be together.
Right.
And you just need to know what your minimum standards or your expectations of your team, whatever. Their minimum expectations of your team are.
Right.
And make sure they know what they are and make sure they're aligned. And that's something that should probably be checked in on at a fairly regular basis. You said that this person wanted to do 50. If they came back and said, actually, I want to do 6, and I've done 5. Okay, well, maybe we have
we don't change goals like that.
Yeah, so maybe we have another conversation about, right. Hey, this is our minimum expectation. You're below it. That this isn't going to work out. Right. So you either need to change your expectation, or we need to find you a new place.
Yeah, and honestly, the coaching meetings, they get smaller. So I don't take an hour of our top agents' time every week. And there's some agents that I meet with every week, some of our top agents, and they've asked for that. And then there's some agents that I rotate through every other week. And it works better because sometimes, right, if the cadence is too much, then it loses the value. And if it's not enough, then they don't feel like that they're getting the help they need and the support they need. So it's definitely something that as you can start coaching and you really dial in what you're doing on your coaching call or in your coaching meeting. I mean, today my day was slam packed, and a lot of my one-on-ones and coaching conversations were 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. They're slated for 30 with our top agents, but we've gotten it to where it's 15 minutes unless there's an issue or something that we need to talk about, and then I've got the additional 15-minute buffer. And
I just wrote that, and because I knew that today because we had a meeting as well. You don't, just because you have it set for 30 minutes or an hour, you as the coach, your time is too valuable. Mm-hmm. Them as the agent, their time is too valuable. Right. So don't just bullshit for an hour.
Right.
We've come to a point where Gary Vee says this a lot, is your meeting, you'll find enough stuff to fill your meeting if you need to.
100%.
So he'll do a 5-minute meeting, a 7-minute meeting, a 3-minute meeting, and say, let's just get the shit done when we need to and then move on.
Right.
And so I think one way you can either force that is force yourself to have shorter meetings, or make it a clear expectation of when we're done talking about what we need to talk about, let's go do work. Like, hey, have you done this? Yes. 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 Do you have any questions? No.
Yeah.
Can I help you? No.
Now, the one-on-ones in your coaching conversations with newer agents will be longer.
That makes sense.
Those are typically an hour. So those are the agents that are just coming out of training, and there's that month there where we meet with them one-on-one for an hour. And it's because there's so much that we have to go through, and a lot of it is systems, and systems take a while to dive in and to show and to get them to understand. So usually those, and they have so many contract questions and negotiating questions that those typically tend to be an hour. But outside of that, 30 minutes is what I have slated. 15 is what we shoot for. And it's not really, when I'm coaching with the agents, I'm not shooting the shit with them. It's not a, hey, how's your day? It's, all right, I'm pulling up your numbers here, Sisu. Let's get to it. You met with 9 people last week and you've got, 3 pending. What's happening with the other ones? Let's talk through it. So it's not a, how's Sally Joe? That's not that. Now, when I see you at the team meeting and when I see you in the office outside of that, absolutely, how's Sally Joe and how's the weather? But on those one-on-ones, it's business. What are we doing to move the needle for you.
So that you were leading right into my next question. For the producing agents, the high performing, what questions do you ask? You said there was one agent that said, ask me these things. You mentioned, looking at meetings and pendings. What are the things you go over?
I will.
If someone's watching this and is like, okay, I have a team, I have agents that I want to coach up, but I don't know what to ask them. I don't want to just sit and shoot the shit for 30 minutes. Ask them this.
So I'll give you the list.
Please do.
So we go over their numbers in CSU. So there we go, right? Those are the numbers that are there.
And what numbers? Appointments set?
Appointments set, appointments met, pendings, and closed.
Okay.
But then I also want to know how many active buyers are you working with? So that's totally outside of that, right? That's their pipeline. How many active sellers are you working with? How many appointments in the last week? 3 is the minimum for our top agents. What are you happy about these days? So just a little bit of like keeping things grounded as well. Super short, sweet, easy questions that helps you know what the health of their business is. And
I love that, and I love that it's led by you. It's not, well, what questions do you have? Yeah. Because then it's like, I don't know.
And I always ask, like, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything you need?
Yeah, and that seems to be one of the last questions, right? You don't start like, hey, what do you want?
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, that takes up energy and thought process for them. Run through it, and then obviously, hey, what else? Because sometimes there's going to be things, and they go, oh, that came to mind now. Now I have a question about this.
Yep. And then sometimes holding them accountable as well. We had one of our top agents that had a rough go starting the year, and they just couldn't get their mindset where they were. And I said, what's your why? Like, what are you working for this year? Here's what you worked towards last year, and you check the box. And so, what are you working towards this year? I don't really know. I'm like, okay, so here's what your homework is. When we meet again next week, I need to see your vision board, and I need to know what's happening. What are you working towards? And that's what our meeting is about. So literally the next week, and you need to go through your segments was the other one, and get those cleared out. And we met the next week, and the vision board was sent over to me prior to. We went through each and every one of them in detail, so I knew exactly what they were working towards, and I think they have 6 pending right now.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. This is going to be the last thing before we go into our widget. At what point do you stop the one-on-ones? Say, for example, like this is a great example. I want you ask the numbers, blah, blah, blah. But what if they're not, they show up, but hey, you're supposed to have 3 meetings. I have none. Hey, you're supposed to have this.
Then I drop them off my calendar.
You just don't give them an option. You say, hey, you're done until you show up.
Right. Like, I'm here for you. You have to show up for me as well. So we have plenty of agents that would want one-on-one time. So if you're not doing your part, you're not going to be on my calendar. Let me know when you're back in the game, and we'll get back on it. And it's not mean, right? Like, I'm not kicking them to the curb when they're down. I know what's going on. I know leading up to it. But that's not the culture that we have. I haven't had to do that. That's not who we are. So I think that just shows the type of agents that we have.
Correct.
Yeah. And then I'll just send them your way, and you can meet with them.
All right. And then I send them to Tom, so it rolls downhill. That is our talk today with Brandy Berry, our Director of Sales here at Whissel Realty Group. If you like the show, share it, like it, comment it, leave a review, comment it, whatever. Leave a review on your favorite podcast site. That really means a lot to us. But really, the thing that we love is when you share it with other people, or when you let us know, hey, this was a lot of value. I really took away this. We did a podcast a couple weeks ago that we got a lot of really good feedback. I've got texts and people coming up to me saying, this literally changed how I did things in my business.
Okay, so I want to beat that podcast. So whatever that was, y'all reach out.
Kyle and I cried on that podcast, so that's a little tough one. We talked about mental health, and literally I had people talk to me and say, look, now when I have phone calls with my mom, it's different. Yeah. Now when I have, we had someone text us saying, hey, I showed this to my team, and we had people take specific action to help get their mind right based on what was started with this podcast. I'm not going to take full credit, right? They had a team about it, but so that is what really fills my cup. So if you got something from this, if you learned from it, just let us know. That's really valuable to me, and I love seeing stuff like that. So if you want more information, you want to connect with us on a more deeper level where we can communicate more together, go to thewhisselway.com. You can learn about our Facebook group, or you subscribe to our YouTube channel, join the referral list or our referral network, sign up for our newsletter, learn more about our video course where we teach you step-by-step how to create a video series that people actually want to watch, or ask us a question that we will answer here on the show. Now it's our widget of the week. Brandy, our Whissel widget of the week is something that saves us time, helps us make more money, helps us have more fun, or just something you want to share with someone.
Awesome. Well, my Whissel widget of the week is sticking with coaching. As we're talking about coaching, there is a book. So for those of you that can't see and are listening, it's a book called Coaching Questions, A Coach's Guide to Powerful Asking Skills. And the author is Tony, and I'm going to completely screw up his name, but it's Stoltzfus, Stoltzfus, Tony Stoltzfus. Coaching Questions, A Coach's Guide to Powerful Asking Questions is what it is. And it's a really great way to get started. If you don't know what to ask, what questions to ask, it's a really good way to at least get started.
Well, we already told them what questions to ask.
Well,
so you don't have to do it. We already told you. The end. We made an impact.
It's a widget.
My widget this week is an app for the phone to help edit video. This was introduced to me by another real estate agent who does a lot of video at an event that I just went to. It's from Adobe. It's called Premiere Rush. It's their online version of Adobe Premiere. You can start editing stuff on your phone, have it transferred to the computer, go back and forth. Pretty neat. I haven't done a lot with it, but if you like working in Adobe Premiere, if maybe you are a video editor yourself and want to be able to do something a little bit more powerful on your phone than just cutting and adding a transition here or there, check out Adobe Premiere Rush. I really like it.
I use it all the time.
She doesn't.
No, I don't.
She goes, I don't know what an Adobe is.
Koci, will you do this for me, please?
That's what I do. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you next week.
Thanks.
Wait. Before you leave, I want to share some more tips and tricks that we're using in our business to take it to that next level. Just click right here. And don't forget to subscribe. Click right here.